All right. Welcome everybody to First Friday, August 7th, 2026. It's all good to see y'all. We got a really neat lineup tonight. Poet Gold, Prince McNally, and Mary Louise Kiernan. Rebecca Shemeda was supposed to read also because I screwed up the schedule, but she decided that since he has a new book coming out in February, she wants to sign up for next year. So we're back to our three people, which is great. Um, Thank you all for coming out tonight. And I think I've got everybody who wants to be on the open mic. If not, please put your name in the whatever that thing is, chat, and we will get to it. Um, I for most of the people here in Hudson Valley, I don't think Gold needs an introduction, but here we go. Poet Gold is an award-winning multidisciplinary artist whose work explores love, identity, perseverance, and the human experience through spoken word and performance. Dutchess County Poet Laureate Emerita and author of Be the Poem Living Beyond Our Fears, Caps Press 2025, Poet Gold is recognized nationally for her appearances, keynote talks, and creative workshops that connect storytelling, literacy, and personal growth. Her voice also features as co-host on the iHeartRadio show Finding Out with Pete and the Poet Gold, as well as in the poetic short film Blueprint for My People by award-winning director Carol Bash. To learn more about Poet Gold, visit www.poetgold.com. A writer, a human being that I am very proud to call my friend. Poet Gold, you're up.
Thank you, darling. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate what Caps does. Um, and so I'll get right to it. I'm going to read a couple of poems from the new book published on Caps Publishing, and it's called "Be the Poem: Living Beyond Our Fears." It is really a book about a little bit of my life journey and a circle of network of people that I've met through my life that I've built on the belief that fear is really the driver. We like to think that love is, and it's nice to think that love is, but I believe that fear is, and I believe if we can work through our fears, we can better connect to the joy and be more authentic and mindful with each other. But it's our fears that stop us from doing that. But it's really a joyful book, believe it or not. So here's a gem. This is from Be the Poem Living Beyond Our Fears, and it's called Rufus. Rufus stands for robbing us from ultimate success, or robbing you from ultimate success. Here's a gem. Did you know, according to the National Science Foundation, an average person has about 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day? Of those, 80% are negative and 95% are repetitive thoughts. If we repeat those negative thoughts, we think negative way more than we think positive. I would like to introduce you to Rufus, who behaves like the world's a dark and scary place. Rufus is afraid of light. Rufus is always fussing, super critical, letting you know who you can't be or what you can't do, often before you even try. If Rufus fears things are not going their way or not being heard, Rufus will insist you be overly impulsive or don't speak at all because you're going to sound silly or not smart. Rufus is the voice that shouts, "Don't raise your hand. Don't speak first. Oh no. Why did you say that? Don't sit in the front rows." Rufus is a sly, slippery, scheming creature whose only prayers are curses. And don't think you're going to try something new. What made you think you could accomplish that? Who do you know that has done that before? Nobody. Yeah, I thought so. Those people don't want you there anyway. You don't know anyone. They can't be trusted. Look at them looking at you. See, I told you so. You to this, you to that. Look through that window. See those people in there? They're not like you. They're other. You don't belong here. And Rufus can be mean. Rufus loves pushing you to self destruction, to embrace the story of "I told you so." Then Rufus relaxes into their only joy, watching you slowly sleep into disappointment, perhaps sadness, or without the proper coping skills, even depression. If you allow Rufus, Rufus will rob us, you, from ultimate success. Rufus is the dream stealer. Rufus is a doubter. So, how do we protect our spirit from the potential silos of fear slash negative or overly critical thoughts created and housed in our minds. After a large dose of personal experience and listening to many stories from children to adults through the years, individuals I may have coached in sports, trained in corporate America, and mentored on my marketing team, or shared experience with friends or family about what holds us back in certain areas of our lives, I needed to label it. Rufus was unmasked, a doubter for sure, not ignoring this powerful voice, but learning to redirect it through doing something positive, changing the narrative through small action steps, accomplish a goal, exercise to release those wonderful endorphins, the body's natural feel-good internal stress reliever. Even listening to Rufus. Rufus may not always present well, sometimes may appear to be harsh. I believe it is important to sort some of these thoughts out versus living in an ongoing struggle. Confronting your Rufus is not always confrontational. It can be quietly done with quiet intention, gently learning to laugh at poor Rufus's repetitive old story while coaxing them to the light. They are simply thoughts. You see, it is our understanding that leads us to a deeper understanding. And once you understand that truth and resolve to act on it, you will be the poem.
Indeed, indeed.
So I do, let's see, when I'm live with musicians, sometimes I perform with musicians. I do what I call poelities, which is simply poems infused with music together. So I'm going to give you a poelity without the band, and it's going to flow into a poem. This is called Thoughts Inside Your Head, lyrics. The thinking man contemplates the complexities of life, making sure to demonstrate our success and not the vice. The rise and fall of our mind, calamities are dead news. When we front, we build walls to hide away our truth. You are what you think you are. You are all the thoughts inside your head. You are what you think you are. You are all the thoughts inside your head. All the thoughts inside your head. All the thoughts inside your head. There are mirrors, doors, layers, reflections of our lives, bits and pieces, thoughts silenced, turned into rumbles, many quakes, deep in the soul, hidden behind the veil. There's so much to say, prolonged whispers like wind in the night we can't ignore, deafening, cracking the landscape. Behind the veil, no one notices but you, complicit in one's own absence, are words we never dare speak, become descending tears seeping into the corners of our mouths, leaving crystals on our tongue, tiny little cubes, perhaps abandoned, dissolved, or even transformed. The thinking man contemplates the complexities of life, making sure to demonstrate our success and not the vice. The rise and fall of our kind, calamities are dead news. Oh, when we front, we build walls to hide away our truth. You are what you think you are. You are all the thoughts inside your head. You are what you think you are. You are all the thoughts inside your head. Yes. There you go. How much time do I have, Mike?
Just keep going. You got time.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's see. So that sort of relates to what I'm speaking about in this poetry book and prose book, will be the poem, connecting to our fears, that some of the things we feel inside of our head, there's neuroscience behind it. You know, these are thoughts that just come that we have nothing to do with. And it's a matter of working through that so that we can decrease the amount of anxiety that one may be going through. But we have to first become conscious of those thoughts inside our head. You always show the roof is with Shaka Khan. Yeah, yes, definitely. I can relate to that. I think I'm going to switch and then I'll come back to the Beat a Poem book. I'm going to read a poem from uh, the book I'm continuing, You Are My Blue, which is a collaboration between myself and a photographer by the name of Bibiana Wang Matthijs, who out of Poland. And I was inspired to write poems relating to her photographs that are all tinted in blue. And so we'll be adding more to this collection and expanding upon it this year. Hopefully, I hope to get to it. So this is a poem in it called Home. And Mary mentioned earlier another poem actually I had forgotten about called You Are My Blue, and maybe I'll read that as well. But let me see if I can find the picture. Oh, yeah, Home. So this was, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a photograph of a path in a field. And when I looked at it, I said, wow, this sort of looks like a path home. We had a house in Deposit, New York, and we had often little paths like this around the house that led to a creek that we had. So home. But I also grew up in Washington Heights in the brownstone. So this speaks to that home. It's Sunday. Church is at the table and we give thanks. It's not November. Home. Where my heart was constructed to serve as a refugee camp for those who are fleeing. I take them all in, have yet to learn how to build walls. Home. Because behind some closed doors, there exists a war zone where every word spoken leads to an explosion. Home. Hate was considered a cuss word, forbidden to be used, and being neighborly extends to strangers you sit next to when traveling on public transportation. Be sure to offer them the same kindness as if they just passed you your favorite dish at Sunday's dinner. Home. I experienced the world through songs. If there was a UN for music, it would have been in our house. Home. I had a Crayola box of friends, and they were always invited over. Home. A brownstone. 3 generations, where I was a scientist who discovered how to time travel from one floor to the other, exploring the past, the present, to lead me to the future. Home. Growing pains. Crashed my box for the third time, my bike for the third time. It fell to pieces. I forgave myself for not paying attention. Parents never bought me another one. I forgave them too. Home. Lock and keys. Grandma and grandpa. Mom and dad. Never felt like a prison, just safe. Home. A path I will always follow. And this is for Mary. She had mentioned earlier when we first came on a line from a poem I wrote in this book as well. It's called Blue Suit. And these are lyrics, it's poetry. And if you look at this plant, it looks like someone has a sort of a tuxedo on. I don't know if you can see it here. Wait, let me see if I can get a good angle here. So it's sort of like a white shirt with a blue jacket, but it's really a plant that she took a picture of. So I came up with this poetry called Blue Suit. And it goes something like this. Blue suit, the blue suit, blue suit, blue suit. I wear my blue suit. I wear my blue suit. I'm gonna wear my blue suit. Oh yeah. The color blue has gotten a bad rap. Until the fourth dynasty, blue was non-existent. The Egyptians brought blue to life. Blue representing good luck, fertility, and the power of creation. Blue representing good luck, fertility, and the power of creation. Where did blue become so sad? Was it Chaucer's Mars Lament or the Blue Devils? The demons of sadness leaving us the Sunday blues, the Monday morning blues, the blues. Blues to me is the universe, the universe, the universe. Blue to me is the universe, the universe, the universe. And the universe makes me smile. I pick out a bow tie. It reminds me of butterflies. Crack that cocoon and I come alive. Time to step outside in my blue suit. Oh, 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 in my blue suit. Oh, yes, in my blue suit. I said I'm wearing my blue suit. Oh, yeah. That's a fun little poetry. Thank you. Thank you very much. Time for one more? Where am I?
Yeah, one more.
Okay, got it. This one is tough. Um, I'll do this one. I'm gonna leave you in thought with it. Here we go. This is called America. Where are we now? You just make sure I have all my papers here. There is nothing civil in war. The non-evolved filled with fright, flight from truth, fleeing souls tormented by their own lies, lies that become projectiles landing, exploding on other human rights, stifling life. America, where are we now? Will the annals of the 21st century tell the story of the precipice where we now stand, choosing between echoes of a dark past, circa 1870, poll taxes, literacy testing, Jim Crow, or building a just future, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, America, where are we now? Ancestors of yours and mine who laid their lives on the line, long waits through time, footsteps and strides, so you and I can sing protest songs, melodies that become poelities, like Woody Guthrie's This Land Is Your Land, Aretha's Respect, Marley's Get Up and Stand Up. America, where are we now? We should not shut up. We should not shut up. We should not shut up, but use our voice instead to wake the sleeping souls of those who have grown weary and pulled down their blinds, permitting no light to seep in. It is for them we speak, we march, we cry, we laugh, we dance, we walk lockstep with fist up high. It is for them, the poor, white, miseducated who's been spoon-fed lies. It is for them, generations born into a mental captivity of red lines. It is for them, the feet still walking bootless without bootstraps to lift themselves up. Hear their sighs. It is for them we vote without their full understanding of why. It is for them we will not allow the truth of our great America to be denied. America, where are we now? We exist together in this paradigm, twisted and intertwined, roots connected, not one better than the other, woman, man, child, black, white, bronze, yellow, brown. So you may pass laws to take control of our bodies. Your bands will cement our bonds, bringing us together as women, and we will not go away, not become your handmaiden to do with us what you please, to treat us like we no longer matter. You may pass laws which attempt to oppress our right to vote. We will not go away. We will walk unto the soles of our shoes and no more, our feet bare on this shared earth, and then we will walk some more, carrying those who may have tired. I said, you really have no clue how resilient we are. You may pass laws to ban books and promote ignorance, but children always find their way to the truth through music, through art, through poetry. America, where are we now? My vote is for democracy, the right to choose and be heard. My vote is for the love that does not prop up the voices of Jews will not replace us. My vote is for the hope that the replacement fears don't reign in a land once built on the promise that all people are free. There is nothing civil in war. My vote is for our humanity. America, where are we now? Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God. Holy cool.
There's a shot of positivity for you.
Oh, I want to live on your block just so I can see your smiling face from time to time. Oh God. That
Hey,
was
no, go ahead, Greg.
yeah, that's just powerful.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
Where did you mentioned deposit? Where were you in deposit?
I grew up in the Deposit, New York, going between Washington Heights and Deposit. My family had a home when I was like about 10 years old,
Yeah.
you know, in the 70s in there.
Yeah, but where were you up in Deposit? Because I have family up in Deposit,
Oh, really?
up on Silver Lake Road.
There's I don't remember the address. As a matter of fact, we were trying to find the house a couple of years ago when I was performing up in Binghamton. It's like, so I couldn't tell you I was so young, I couldn't tell you the exact address of where it is. I know
Yeah.
how to get there though. So if you want
Huh?
to take a ride, I'd love to take a ride and try to find the
Yeah.
landing.
Yeah, I'll do that one of these days. Yeah, they were up there. I think my cousin still has the family house. It's up on Silver Lake.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we had I'm looking for a pond on the property that was originally supposed to be a swimming pool that was never finished, and it wound up turning into a pond, and we used to catch catfish in it.
oh, cool. Okay. Everybody, Poet Gold. If you have a few nice words to say, please say them now.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing.
That was wonderful. Gold.
Amazing.
Really appreciated it.
Beautiful energy. Sorry I came in late.
Hey, Raphael, nice to
Hi, good to see you.
see you.
And Gold, if you want to join us in any of those Constitution readings, let me know.
Okay.
All right. Mary Louise, you next. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll do my bit here. Hold on. Mary Louise Kiernan's poetry appears in Broad River Review, Common Ground Review, the Delmarva Review, Sanskrit Literary Arts Magazine, Evening Street Press, Chronogram Magazine, Metropolitan Diary, and the New York Times, and elsewhere. Also anthologized in Caps, My Dear, Poets for Social Justice, Savor, Poems for the Tongue, and other collections. Exhibition credits include Artsman Hudson Gallery, SUNY Orange Hall Gallery, and Cork, Ireland's Poetry in the Park Project. The recipient of a 2015 Poetry Prize from Arizona State University, Kiernan was shortlisted in 2024 for Ireland's 11th Ovale International Poetry Anthology Prize. The Gift of Glassophobia, Kelsey Books, is the title of her debut poetry collection, and you can find out much more at marylouisekiernan.com. Always a pleasure. Longtime Caps favorite, Mary Louise Kiernan. You're up.
Thank you, Mike. So tonight will be a hybrid reading. I have 2 poems from my collection and 2 prose pieces. Just a heads up, 11 minutes and then 6 minutes long each, respectively. And I have never read these out loud before, so this is a first. So the first one was published in the Times Herald Record. And before I read it, I would like to read a haiku from Mike Jurkovic's Monet's Bamboo that I think blends very nicely with what I'm about to read. I hear my father's voice. As I near the age, he took leave without qualm.
Thank you for that.
It's an amazing collection. So the title of this is An October Odyssey. I can still picture Dad at the kitchen table, arms folded, one leg crossed over the other, reminiscing about someone or other's case of wanderlust, that magical melody of a word, as if it were a desirable affliction of sorts. Dad was more than an armchair traveler, though, often charting his horizons from a map collection kept in the mahogany breakfront. I don't remember just when I learned to read a map myself, but I take it as the ultimate compliment when someone calls me Chris for Columbus or my brother Ponce as in De Leon. Dad didn't believe much in buying us things, although the year he promised to buy all 3 of us cars, we did find Matchbox models under the Christmas tree. He did believe in taking us places. He was also a firm follower of the best things in life are free school of thought. And this is when I realized I must be getting older because now I know he was right. Consequently, carnivals, amusement parks, and arcades were a no-go for my sister, my brother, and myself. That's not to say we didn't go on vacations. In fact, with Mom as navigator, we toured Canada, Cape Cod, the District of Columbia. Sometimes we'd drive to Walton Lake, Monroe, New York, is what is now my home county, where he would point out the summer home of his youth. We traveled from Orient Point to Niagara Falls, taking in a good share of Northeast America. Not long ago, I read a magazine article which ruled out travel by car as quality time. Obviously, its author was never lucky enough to have been escorted about by one James Patrick Kiernan. As a first-generation Irish-American without a brogue, there still was a lilt in his manner of speech. Through him, I learned how to appreciate the art of a gentle joke. One of them I recall. Do you know how Staten Island got its name? One day, Henry Hudson sailed down the river. Henry pointed, and Dad said, sounding like a Dutchman, "Is Staten Island?" Those Sundays when Mom took a break and Dad took us on car trips were of priceless quality. Take, for example, our afternoon at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. One Sunday, dressed in our church best, we piled into the family car and motored towards the Queensboro Bridge, one of the best bridges in all of New York City, basically because it was free. Remember Dad's best things in life policy. With each turn in the road, the skyline would hide and seek. There's the Empire State Building. Now there, now over there. Who'd be the first to spot the Chrysler Building or Metropolitan Life where Dad worked? Manhattan loomed like a modern-day Oz to the three kids from Queens, while our guide listed reasons to love New York City. It was the best city in the whole wide world. After all, where else could you do so much for so little? I still remember the doorman at the Waldorf looking like a palace guard, a Hollywood set come to life, like an old black and white movie colorized with us in it. With the lobby ceiling as high as any church's, the plush carpet and stuffed furniture gave it the feel of a castle. Before guiding us into the lounge, Dad graciously gave us carte blanche with a display of complimentary sightseeing brochures. As anyone who knew him would agree, Dad had the knack. The gift of gentlemanly gab, and in short order, for the price of 4 sodas, the bartender bestowed upon us swizzle sticks, coasters, cocktail napkins, and a generous bowl of peanuts. Who needed some trinket with only New York stamped on it when we had free souvenirs from the best hotel in the world? Even knowing our friends were home playing street games without us did not burst our bubble that day. We had been to the Waldorf. The Sunday we visited the United Nations, Dad found street parking. It wasn't until I started to drive that I realized parking garages were open to the public. First stop was the UN lobby, where for the price of 3 dimes, we inspected the pay toilets. The Sunday we visited, afterward, we were treated to an impromptu tour by a security guard that Dad befriended. Convinced it was foolish to spend money to see a room of empty seats, otherwise known as the General Assembly, Dad had us take a moment to reflect on the floor tiles. Just think how many important people have walked through this lobby. Ambassadors and dignitaries from all around the world. It's something to think about, he said. Throughout our teens, he taxied us. One afternoon, he volunteered to drive me and a few friends to an outdoor concert in Central Park. Thrilled to be on our own, checking out the street performers on the way to an outdoor theater. We were stunned to spot Dad watching a Hare Krishna chant. In disbelief, I asked him what he was doing there. He simply waved me off, saying, "Go about your business. I want to see what these young people are up to." It took a few years to realize he really wasn't following us. It was that old wanderlust once again. When I turned 17, despite my resistance, my father taught me how to drive. Because of the cost, driver's education was never a serious consideration. One Saturday afternoon, he drove past the city limits to the steepest hill he could find, where he parked our standard transmission Volkswagen, putting the stick shift in gear, pulling up the emergency brake handle. I tried frantically to coordinate the clutch, gas pedal, and stick shift, the car bucking forward and rolling backwards countless times, while a half a dozen children ran up and down the sidewalk cheering me on. As nervous as I was, even I had to laugh. The morning my driver's license arrived in the mail, Dad manufactured an excuse to go to Manhattan. He claimed he needed a particular whatchamacallit for his workbench from a specialty hardware store downtown. You can drive, he announced. I balked. I whimpered. Please don't make me drive in the city. A half an hour later, as I steered from the lower level of the Queensboro Bridge into the yellow waves of traffic on 2nd Avenue, he offered 2 bits of advice. Don't worry about the cabs. They'll watch out for you. They don't have time to have an accident. On the other hand, he warned, pointing to zigzagging late-model vehicles which bore diplomatic license plates, those fellows have diplomatic immunity. They don't care about accidents. Now that I look back, I can see Dad gave me more than driving lessons. He taught me to be careful, yet not to fear the wrong turn, in more sense than one. Just keep on going. You can always turn back. And to this day, there are times I will take a different path on purpose and nearly always discover something new. Stricken with macular degeneration, eventually Dad's eyesight diminished, leaving minimal peripheral vision. One day while I was driving, a shooting star plummeted through the sky to the west of us. Not wanting to make him aware of what he may not have seen, I kept silent. And then he ventured, was that a falling star? I was overwhelmed yet grateful. It was a moment which made a memory. Following a valiant recovery from a first stroke, he refused physical therapy. Dad began to take nostalgic trips by bus and train back to his roots in the Bronx and Rockaways. We'd find out about these trips after the fact and all be upset that he'd travel alone. After getting the brush off with some murmurs about guardian angel, I thought I glimpsed a sprinkle of wanderlust dust. As time went by, Dad coped with other debilitating health problems. Sometimes he would sit by the kitchen table, arms folded, one leg over the other, and share that he was prepared for the great trip beyond. On October 19th, 1987, my father died. The same day the stock market crashed. In time, that autumn day would become known to the world as Black Monday. The day my father was buried, I learned something new about him. He'd have a favorite poem, which my sister knew about from reading to him after his eyesight failed. It came as no surprise that the theme of traveling to the great beyond would appeal to my father. At his graveside, she read Tennyson's Crossing the Bar. Last year at a relative's funeral, the man's daughter said of her own pain, "When does it stop feeling this way?" I don't think it ever stops. Yes, in time, the physical aftershocks subside, but there are moments when the sadness can be drawn up like a cup from a private well with just a sigh. I miss my father, but in his passing, he taught me one more lesson, not to be so afraid of death. I sometimes think of dying as a map for a trip to God knows where, or even better, to a place where my father's already been. And there's no doubt in my mind that Dad's last journey has been the trip of a lifetime. Only 11 minutes.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have a poem to read.
Gorgeous.
From my collection. And it refers to Walton Lake in Monroe. The link to Lakes Road. I sometimes steer the curves on the road round Walton Lake, where my Irish grandparents once owned a weekend place. Summers, Dad drove us kids back in his 55 Plymouth, in aqua and black Belvedere, Italian for a beautiful view. Up the road named Heaton, high ground in Old English, then down and around we cruised past his pre-war stomping grounds. From the American Legion Hall, he'd recall where he, his gal, and the old gang dove the waters. Pretending to see what he saw, I gazed across the reflections. Did I inherit his penchant for the Celtic melancholia? I pictured generations before altars, their communions, their penances. I hear prayers to lift the English boot from their broken, spirited necks. I learn of each passage leaving Longford, Gaelic for fortress, to reach a liberated America. So much of our history and mystery, the science of genetics reveals my immigrant grandparents, all Irish, were part English. Was it by free will or by force? I swerve, I shudder at this question of my heart's ache. I long to forsake each time I am drawn to steer the curves on the road round Walton Lake. So the next piece I would like to read, it's only 6 minutes, was actually published in the New York Times. So here's a printout of it. It's the first time I'm reading it out loud. And the title of it is Days of Our Lives, Calendar's Diary. I never travel without my diary, Oscar Wilde wrote. One should always have something sensational to read in the train. Although most of us are not such clever or famous personalities, many of us do live busy lives that have at least an occasional moment of excitement. Yet keeping a diary of such events in these fast-paced times can seem too tedious a task. Nevertheless, I've discovered an alternative to a daily diary, the calendar. Over the years, I've created a ritual for myself with the purchase of each new calendar. In the last days of December, I await the opportunity to sit alone, quietly preparing the new calendar for the coming year. As legibly as possible, I copy all the annually celebrated dates, knowing that much of what will be hastily scribbled during the next dozen months will barely be legible, even to myself. There once was a time when a greeting card store's complimentary date book was enough. The notations in the thin, wallet-sized reminder consisted mostly of shopping expeditions, weekend dates, parties, and movies. In fact, all the date books and calendars since I turned 16 are now collected into one very large, expandable folder. My very first Hallmark date book of 1968 begins with a notation on Friday, October 4th, with a friend's Sweet 16 party. I well remember the dress I made for that night, the aqua satin fabric, the crocheted trim, and the rhinestone buckle. The Empire-style dress took weeks to finish. My date wore a double-breasted jacket and flared bell-bottoms. We were a cross between mod and collegiate, the 60s version of preppy and punk. The party was held in a hotel across from LaGuardia Airport, complete with a rock band. Meanwhile, 15 years later, 1983's calendar was a toddler's year, listing daily suggestions for parent-toddler play. July 25th suggested teaching I'm a Little Teapot, which I remember doing with my daughter Gina. That same night, David Bowie, 7:45 at Madison Square Garden. In comparing earlier calendars to later ones, it's clear that a once prevailing pattern has reversed itself. The weekends were filled with entries like the ones in July 1969. The 11th, New York State Pavilion, Flushing, Meadow Park. Joe Cocker, Grateful Dead on the 12th, The Garden. Blind Faith, the 18th. Babysit the 19th, St. Luke's Dance. And the 20th, a Sunday, the beach. Weekdays were mostly left blank, routine in school and camp counseling, and a part-time job. Nowadays, Mondays through Fridays are frequently filled to overflowing, keeping track of a family of 3. In prenuptial times, there were more vacant blocks. Today, an empty calendar that swings back and forth on the kitchen door is a rarity. Having my calendar within writing reach of the phone makes a difference in the quantity and quality of each notation. The actual writing of transcribing dates from one year to the next is a simple but not necessarily easy one. Just as there are new births to record, there are also birthdays of loved ones that will never be celebrated again. Home calendars are most often a record of familiar life events, yet my calendars have become much more than just tools that remember and remind. They've grown into a source of medical history, appointments with health caretakers. They've also become resumes. The calendars in my collection have grown not just in activity and size, but price as well. In recent years, I've paid as much as $12 for one. Last year's choice was 1988 heirloom quilts. Knowing that even before the year begins, that some of my spaces in my diary are already filled provides a sense of continuity that the year's end can't diminish. Although it's true we don't carry our calendars about as Wilde once did, his diary, this substitution can be just as satisfying when trying to recapture memories. Recently, I spent a late night trying to envision some of those moments. Seeing the sequence of events of my life with the concrete help of those calendars makes the memories that much more real to me. And this essay was initially submitted to the Daily News and was rejected. It was submitted to Newsday and it was rejected. And I submitted it to the Long Island section of the New York Times and they took it. So as a writer, I think I learned a lesson. Start from the top and work your way down. So before I read my final poem, I would like to share my appreciation for calling all poets. The connections that I have made as a result of CAPS have been really life-changing and life-affirming. I would not have a poem in Poetry in the Park in Ireland if it were not for the connections I have made through calling all poets. And I appreciate hearing once again Poet Gold. And I want to thank my fellow writers and my friends for being here tonight. And I look forward to hearing Prince's work and listening to the open micers. So I have one final poem from my collection. And it begins with a quote by Lucille Clifton. Somewhere in the unknown world, a yellow-eyed woman sits with her daughter quilting. And the title is My American Star Quilt. It's also a concrete poem, so it's in the shape of the quilt. My star quilt, outstretched across my car's hood, another yard sale, another letting go, another home to pack up, releasing once again, when a young mother with two little ones claims her church is collecting blankets for victims of Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, Louisiana. I'd sewn hand-sewn bias tape to make loops to hang it, too perfect, too precious to use as a blanket. I think back to the summer day I first held it, $100 saved to buy post-baby clothes. Instead, I turned back to the upscale shop in Bridgehampton, east of the Indian Reservation. Stitched by Native American tribeswomen, a platinum saleswoman took pride in telling, wrapping it in layers of aqua tissue paper as if it might break. Yes, please take it, I say to the young mother, a yellow-eyed woman teaching me my quilt was never mine to keep. Thank you for this opportunity.
Beautifully done. Thank you, Mary Louise.
Yeah.
Everybody say a few words if you'd like.
Absolutely beautiful, my friend. You're stunning. You're wonderful.
Thank you.
Very moving poetry. Thank you.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Appreciate it.
Beautiful. The
Thank you
imagery,
for sharing.
superb, superb.
Yeah. Love the memoir about your father. The details are wonderful, and you read it so well too.
Raphael, it took me about 7 years to write that after he died. Every time I tried to write it, I would just weep. And I just said, I cannot do this. And finally, I had moved up to Orange County, and I finally finished it and submitted it to the Times Soul Record, and they took it. So I was very happy.
Yeah.
It takes a
Fantastic.
long time. I'm very slow. The process takes me forever. And even with the piece that I submitted to the Daily News Newsday, and then the New York Times took it. So I was ready to give up. And when it was suggested by the person whose course I was taking, send it to the New York Times, I was like, I don't think so. No, 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 no.
Yeah, so that was a surprise, right? Yeah, wonderful.
And I'll tell you how long ago this was, because I was renting a house in Long Beach at the time, and the phone rang, and it was this man from the New York Times, and he said, "We need your social security number." I said, "Excuse me." I said, "Why do you need my social security number?" He goes, "Do you want to get paid for your piece?" I said, "I do." So back then it wasn't an issue. You just gave out your social security number.
Right, right.
Especially if
And
you're
I
going
got
to get paid, man. That's like,
I got $75, and I thought, I have hit the big time.
That's wonderful.
Thank you,
Mary.
Mary Louise.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you so much.
All right. Our next feature, long time coming, hasn't joined us in about 2 years or so. Prince A. McNally is the newly elected 2026 Beat Poet Laureate for the state of New York. He is a teaching and performance poet from Brooklyn, New York, who facilitates writing workshops utilizing poetry and creative writing as means of expression and self-discovery. Prince is a two-time Pushcart Poetry Prize and Best of the Net nominee. His work has appeared in numerous online and print publications throughout the U.S. and abroad. He has been featured at various venues such as the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, Bowery Poetry Club, and the Book Club Bar, and Brownstone Poets, of course, to name just a few. For bookings and inquiries, DM his IG at Prince the Poet or email pmac210@gmail.com. Always a pleasure to have my friend here on board. Prince McNally, you're up, buddy.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. It's a pleasure to be here. I think I'm going to start. I'm going to be reading some poems from my manuscript entitled She. But this first piece I'm going to read is a piece I don't think I've read it in public. It's called the Song of Addiction. This is a really old poem, but I just have the spirit to read it. Have you ever seen the miracle of springtime lilies dancing in a meadow to the winds of a storm that eventually passes, leaving them practically unscathed? Do you remember how the sun would rise triumphantly after a storm, blissfully splattering the colors of a rainbow across the quiet skies? As if to say, this is a new day, a new age, a renaissance of change. Beauty and innocence. Oh, how I wish this were the poem about the miracle of springtime lilies dancing in the meadow to the winds of a storm that eventually passes, leaving them practically unscathed. I wish this were the poem about the sun rising triumphantly after a storm, blissfully splattering the colors of a rainbow across the quiet skies, slowly unveiling a new day, a new age, a renaissance of change, beauty, and innocence. But this is not a poem about dancing lilies surviving a storm, nor is it a poem about the beautiful sunrise blissfully splattering the colors of the rainbow across the quiet skies, or the coming of a new age, a new day, a renaissance of change, beauty, and innocence. This is a poem about pain and struggle, betrayal and torture. This is a poem about the ugliness of life seen through the eyes of an addict. This is a poem for our sisters, our brothers, our mothers, and our fathers. This is a poem about a 13-year-old girl forced to sell her body because she's strung out on opioids, first introduced to her at school. This is a poem about a premature infant attached to life support because his teenage mom was horribly strung out on a $200 a day heroin habit. This is a poem about the call of addiction, the pain of its infliction, the power of its grip, and the pull of its gravity upon the human psyche, how quickly it dims the light of one's essence and crushes the soul. How it dashes one's hopes and dreams, killing their desire to live for anything else other than serving a constant yearning that never serves them. This unyielding desire to dance with the devil circumvents anything and everything of true value, true meaning, often severing the bond between friends and family, not to mention one's job and responsibilities. So utterly crippling is its grip. It weakens one's will to exercise their freedom of thought. They are merely but slaves who've surrendered to a life of unquenchable thirst, a quest unworthy of pursuit. For addiction gently whispers in the ears of its victims, its breath ever redolent with the inevitable stench of death. Like the song of the siren, addiction calls and compels its victims to do its bidding, to do its dance. And when they dance, it reminds me of those lilies dancing in the meadow to the winds of a storm that eventually passes. For no matter how hard or how long those winds may blow, they still hold on to the song of their addiction.
Whoa.
Public safety announcement. 1. This is for the women who ignore the red flags. 2. This is for the women who refuse to leave. 3. This is for the women who leave and yet return. 4. This is for the women who believe he'll change. 5. This is for the women who think they'll change him. 6. This is for the women who see a whole other side to him. 7. This is for the women who go out of their way to make excuses for him. 8. This is for the women who've been gaslit to believe it's their fault he beats them. 9. This is for the women who believe him when he says he won't hurt them again. 10. This is a public safety announcement for domestic violence. The next time he hits you, and he will hit you again, he just might kill you. I'm going to change it up. This piece is called hashtag. Hashtag. Military assault weapons are trending. Hashtag. Shootings across the country are trending. Hashtag. Active shooter on canvas is trending. It's an ongoing American gun saga. On May 24th, 2022, 19 children and 2 teachers were fatally shot while 17 others were wounded by a single gunman at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas. In Highland Park, Illinois, during the 4th of July parade, 7 people were killed and over 24 more were wounded by a lone sniper using a military-grade assault rifle. These horrific shootings strongly suggest that we as a country are in deep turmoil. I can't begin to imagine what it must feel like for a parent to lose a child or for a child to lose a parent to gun violence, especially in our schools where they should have been protected, where they should have been saved. And yet they become part of the American tragedy, the latest victims of our failed system. This poem is an honorary poem acknowledging all the victims brutally massacred or wounded in our schools and public spaces by gunmen who were allowed to purchase military assault weapons, no background checks taken. When a child is born, the angels sing in serendipitous soliloquy, and when the song of a child's life is suddenly interrupted, the angels weep with a sadness as deep and heavy as a bloated cloud. It doesn't matter if you weren't in those classrooms in Columbine, Sandy Hook, or Robb Elementary. It doesn't matter if you weren't at the parade in Highland Park, Illinois, the church in Charleston, South Carolina, the shopping mart in Buffalo, New York, or the club in Orlando, Florida. It doesn't matter what color you are or what race you are. It doesn't matter if you identify as gay, straight, transgender, or queer, regardless of your religion, finances, or political affiliation. We're all human. And we're all victims of these horrific tragedies. Let us pray for the families as they mourn the passing of their loved ones. Let us honor the dead in a moment of silence. But we will not be silenced. Let us spare the families the agony of a 21-gun salute or the empty sentiment of a folded American flag placed in a grieving mother's arms where her child used to be. Hashtag, there will be no 21-gun salutes trending in this poem. Hashtag, no folded American flags placed in a grieving mother's arms trending in this poem. In this poem, our schools are a safe space for our children and their teachers. No barricades pressed against classroom doors trending in this poem. No active shooter protocols, no SWAT teams or on standby or teachers armed with guns trending in this poem. This poem is a gun-free zone where we will heed the warning signs. No one is invisible. This poem no one is invisible in this poem. A child struggling with mental health shall not go unnoticed or unattended in this poem. A child being bullied will not be tolerated in this poem. In this poem, no parent will ever have to worry about the safety of their child in our schools. There will be no mass shootings in this poem, no funerals, no eulogies, no tombstones, no gravesite burials, no candlelight vigils, no tears, no moments of silence. We will not be silenced in this poem. We will put an end to gun violence. Both Congress and the Senate will place the safety of our citizens above the wishes of gun lobbyists. In this poem, teachers are teaching and children are learning. In this poem, children are playing, not hiding. Parents are smiling, not mourning. In this poem, love is trending. Life is trending. And at 3 p.m., when that school bell rings, everyone goes home in this poem.
Oh my God. Prince, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
So beautiful. So powerful.
Wow. Wow.
I figure out where I'm going to go. Okay, so this next piece is called Easy Again. I wrote it for my friend Sandra Feen. I watched in complete silence as you made your way through the temperament of your storm. I have watched you struggle. I have watched you fall and crumble to the ground. I cringed at the sound of your psyche splattering into 1,000 pieces. The rawness of your pain, blaring like a trumpet, each note an echo of anxiety, its breath reeking of shame, fear, and uncertainty, taunting you with an ever persistent mantra. A looping voice that said, "You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not strong enough." But I don't believe it, and neither should you. I have watched you struggle. I have watched you fall and crumble to the ground. I cringed at the sound of your psyche splattering into 1,000 pieces, succumbing to the will of your fear. And I have watched you rise and gather those shattered pieces, putting yourself together again. You turned the corner. You turned a deaf ear to the call of your anxiety. It may not have been pretty, but I watched in complete awe as you faced your storms head on, tackling life's most challenging maze, filled with obstacles that swallowed you whole in waves of blue ocean, forcing you to sink or swim. But despite your fear, you swam those waves. It wasn't easy watching you struggle through those heavy bouts of pain, fear, and uncertainty. You turned a deaf ear to the call of your anxiety at every corner, at every turn, until you could no longer hear its whispers, until your heart stopped racing, until you were able to breathe easy again. How's my time?
Got a couple more, man.
I wrote this for my sister. It's called The Foreign Language. She doesn't speak a foreign language, by the way. When last we spoke, she said she had just awakened from sleeping on church steps. And I thought to myself, how wonderfully ironic. Perhaps it's a sign she's finding her way closer to God's altar. Though it saddened me how casually she spoke of sleeping on church steps, how easily the words escaped the prison of her lips as if it were commonplace, an everyday occurrence in the life of an addict, where the notion of rest is a luxury. You sleep wherever you can find a small pocket of peace, a brief moment of respite from that nagging hunger that has devoured you, whether it be an abandoned car, an alleyway, an empty stairwell, or church steps. To thrive within this new existence, she learned to step out of herself, to shed her civilized skin, for the addict's life is anything but civilized. In the endless pursuit of nirvana, dignity is blasphemy. You do whatever you have to do to survive, pushing aside all vanity, shame, or pride, ever compelled by the next high. Each day, I pray for her recovery from this curse of addiction that has turned this incredible woman into a mere shadow of herself, for whom church steps would serve as a suitable place to rest on a sunny afternoon in spring, for whom a hot shower, a warm bed with a roof overhead has become a distant memory, for whom dignity is a lost commodity, a foreign language she no longer speaks or understands. I think I'm going to stop here. And I just want to, I want to thank you, Caps, for having me again and what you guys do for poetry. I am so honored to be, connected with you.
The honor is ours, Prince. Your voice is magnificent in the writing and in the expression. It is powerful and deeply affecting.
If you're feeling comfortable that you're done, that's fine, man. I mean, you've left everybody emotionally wasted, so it's like it's wonderful. Thanks, man. Always.
Thank you.
All right. If anybody wants to tell Prince anything, please do so now.
Whatever Greg said.
Yeah.
Wow, Prince.
Appreciate the emotion that you shared through this film. Thank you.
Congratulations, Poet Laureate.
Thank you. Thank you.
You shouldn't be Prince. You should be king.
And man, that's wonderful.
Thank you, sis.
Your passion and emotion. Right now, I feel like my heart is jumping out of my chest. I'm so touched. I am so touched by your passion and your powerful reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My hero is Bob Marley. Birthday's a few days after mine. So I remember seeing him and I said, I want to be able to represent like he did. I want to be able to touch people's hearts and try to bring the world together. And, so that's how I write. I write with his passion. Or at least I try to.
Yes.
And you succeed marvelously. I mean, you've left everybody, if not emotionally wrung out, then breathless. So
I gotta say, our features tonight were all three just fantastic. Just fantastic. Just I'm sailing, flying.
I have to just say that to be in the middle between Poet Gold and Prince I have been looking forward to this for so long. I thought, what a wonderful pairing beside me to I'm just the sandwich with, whatever's in the middle, but you guys are just the most fabulous verbal bookends anyone could ever have. Thank you.
Thank you. Right back at a reflection back to you, because I feed on energy. I'm an empath, so I took from you. I took from Poet Gold. So what you guys heard was also you. The people that came before me.
Yeah.
We have another mutual admiration society going on here.
All right, how about another hand for Gold and Mary Louise and Prince, please, everybody. I mean, I hate to be the villain that breaks it all up, but
Well, just a word about Prince being an empath. Poetry is about community.
Yes.
We write it alone, but it's you're reaching out, you're reaching out. You want to touch.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Thanks, Prince. It's always great to hear you, man.
Thank you.
And we will get together in the city very soon.
All right.
All
I'm
right.
counting on it.
Well, don't leave me out.
Right.
All right, we'll work you into.
The more the merrier.
It's the
That's
best
right.
city in the whole wide world. Remember that.
That's right.
I mean, if we get enough of us together, we'll just start a reading in the park somewhere.
That's
We
right.
get enough of us together, we might just change the world. So let's look at it that way.
And what about Brooklyn? What about Brooklyn?
All right, Brooklyn's in the house.
Prospect Park, come on.
No, I was thinking Dumbo Park. Have you been?
No, I haven't been there.
Brooklyn Bridge
Oh,
Park.
Brooklyn Bridge Park. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Mhm.
Tap me in, Judy.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
All right, I want to thank Prince, Poet Gold, and Mary Louise one more time. You guys are what we do, so thank you for that. And what Greg said, even though I don't remember what he said, but whatever it was that he said goes double for me. Our next, well, not our next open micer, our first open mic. But wait, hold on a second. I'm a little speechless after all that. So before we start the open mic, let me remind everybody that on August 20th, our third Thursday, Cheryl A. Rice will be our featured reader. And on September 4th, John Bartell will be joining us. He's one of our open micers tonight. Sean Pekowski will be with us. And Barbara Fulton Jens will be with us also. Kate Himes has a new book coming out, Through Caps, in February, so she wanted to be moved into next year. So it's John Bartell, Barb Fulton Jens, and Sean Pekowski in September 4th. Cheryl Rice on August 20th. If you can come out and join us, please do. And our first open micer for the evening, Mr. Christopher Bogart.
What did I do to you in a former life to have to follow Prince McNally?
It ain't easy.
Can I share a screen?
Greg, that's cool.
Yeah. Give me a moment.
We ready? Nope, not yet.
Good.
Oh,
Okay,
there it
you
is.
should be able to see it now.
All right. This is the cover to the book, which I hope will come out in a few weeks. It's kind of based on Dr. Seuss and Horton Hears a Who. And I'm going to read you two poems from this. Let me stop this share and go to this share. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. I had an illustrator, a former student of mine, do the illustrations for this. So if you will let me consider this to be one poem, I'll do because it's related. And then what I'll do is I'll do the other one.
Yeah, go for it.
Who, not long ago, in the country of you, a young lad was born whose grandfather was who. Not just any old who, Jojo Who was his name. And the feat that gave Jojo his own Who-doom fame was that on that one day years ago when he rushed to the top of the Eiffelberg Tower to yell just one word, yop. That yop from the top of the Eiffelberg Tower saved all Whoville and made Jojo the young man of the hour. But Jojo's grandson was not from Who, but from you. And the US of A was the country he knew. This lad's name was Joe, after his famous granddad. And like Jojo's Whoville, young Joe's Youville was in trouble bad. So the lad kept a journal of things good and bad, that were changing his country. Bad was all that he had. Until he heard of no kings and the crowds that it drew on the 14th of June, and he finally knew what had to happen and what he had to do. So that's a setup, and this book is going to be a combination of the diaries from Joe Yu, this young man, and the songs from the Maggot Songbook. This is, just let me get to this. There's one song that has 3 sections, and it's called Like a Cheap Suit, but I'm only going to read the third one. This is a medley, Kneel Down, which is to the tune of Dancing in the Streets. Bend Over, to the tune of We Didn't Start the Fire. And finally, Now Pucker Up, to the tune of the end. It's the End of the World as We Know It by REM. I am not going to sing. I will spare you that. And let me read this. We won, so now we start the grift train. Brendan Card, the FCC, King Midas has not a thing on me. Paramount and CBS stand for cowardly bullshit. Disney Plus and ABC, attaboy, go cowardly. Warner and Discovery, CNN, not for me. AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon dying. Peter Thiel for Palantir. Rupert Murdoch makes it real, while Jeff Bezos makes the most of the New Washington Post. Musk's ex fed the till, put in 10 mil as a shill for Trump. Meta made it better by 15 mil. There's no end to the bend to kiss Trump's ass. Marion Adelson, Patrick Sung-Shung, LA Times for the rhyme, 60 Minutes Barry Weiss, 60 Minutes now on the right. CBS The Ellises, tell me why Scott Pelley's canned for being in the right, phony MAGA propaganda, little lies, big lie. No, that's not right. It's the end of the world, it's the end of free speech as we know it. It's the end of free speech as we know it. It's the end of free speech as we know it, and I'm resigned. I'm not going to repeat that again. Winklevoss billionaire supporting Trump, 10 million shares. Zuckerberg, Facebook, let's go take another look. Eden's Forbidden Fruit, Apple Books, and Tim Cook. Right-wing closetocracy, closet burning done for free. First Gate Klingon that you see. Starfleet Academy, Late Night Truths a Bear. Jimmy Kimmel, Steve Colbert. In politics, all's fair. A tournament of lies. Offer me the whole truth. I'll take the alternative, and I decline. And the last part of this is Little Pump, Little Wayne, Jim Caviezel, Gibson Mel, Hulk Hogan, Roseanne Barr, Dennis Quaid, Randy Quaid, Kevin Sorbo, James H. Woods, Kodak Black, Dana White, it's not Blake, it's Black, and Kanye, Michael Rappaport, Kelsey Grammer, Kid Rock, far right. It's the end of the world. It's the end of free speech as we know it, and I resign. Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher. If you want to let people know about the Ukraine American thing again, put it in the chat again.
Thank you. I will do
You're welcome. All right, we're going to move Josephine up a little bit because she has to go. Josephine Loray, you're next.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate this. And sorry I won't be able to stay longer. I'm going to be reading from my screen. The poem was written in Ireland. I was there for the launch of the Titanic anthology. And it's called Our Lady of the Harbour. Our Lady of the Harbour, of the seaside, of the tumult, of the calm and troubled seas. Daughter to Polaris, lover to Poseidon, trident grasped within his grip. Our Lady of the Harbour, cousin to the slow-winged rayfish, to the oyster and the scallop, to the winkle, to the starfish clinging to the long and unkempt strings of kelp and hair. She is sister to the siren, to the seahorse, to the selkie, ready to shed her sealskin for the hungry touch of man. To mother children, nurse them with the brine of her own breast, drawn forevermore toward her floating watery home. In a gown of sea foam, she stands steady at the shoreline, Our Lady of the Harbour, of the sea squalls, of these wavelets lapping gently at our feet. She feels the rising wind, has watched as man set sail toward his folly, from Aulio and Troy, from Lagos, navigating by blind star around the furthest tip of darkest continents. From Genoa under Isabella's flag to unsuspecting lands, from Southampton, then to Cherbourg, to Queenston, now Cove and County Cork, such titanic aspirations. Our Lady of the Harbour, of the shipwreck, of the seas. She leans toward the water, arms extended, fingers reaching for the elusive east, for the unexpected feast of cardamom and ginger, cinnamon and mace, for the tea and oranges that come all the way from China. Thank you, Leonard Cohen, for the grace. Bride to the breathing tide, she feels the keen of vessels lost at sea, fishermen enshrouded in the tangle of nets, widows in their towers, in their peaks. Beside them she has grieved, soundless as the salt of tears courses down her cheek from eye of deepest green, dappled aquamarine. She has swayed under the slow dance of the moon, enraptured by phosphorescence, floating bioluminescent starlight flicking at her feet. She is blessed, Our Lady of the Harbour, looking out upon the ocean, home to dogfish, home to seaweed, home to all these shattered hulls and keels. Thank you very much.
Beautifully done. Thank you, Josephine.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I'll stay until I have to leave. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's fabulous.
Oh, thank you, Prince.
I love your cadence.
Oh, thank
That
you.
was just, wow, that was beautiful.
The one, the only, Patricia Carragon, you're next.
Oh, yeah. 2 jazz-inspired poems. I'm a little off tonight, so please forgive me. I'm not feeling great. New jazz poems. In a sentimental mood. Elton's rolled chords say it all, like the gentle rain on this Brooklyn eve. My mood runs deep into Coltrane's sax. The notes bring back unsolved yesterdays, the problems I have for today. My heart chakra takes a melodic trip, but how does the music know how I feel? Why am I sad when there are no words? My loneliness cries along with the keys, but the notes know better. Life's a bizarre pattern of notes and chords. The sax claims that the sky will clear. Coltrane's mellow touch gives me hope. Like the rain, Ellington softly makes his exit. And last, this was just accepted by the Weatherford Red Wheelbarrow. This is Naima, inspired by Les Double Six and John Coltrane. Naima, descendant of Bastet, the queen of cats, goddess of the home, women, fertility, and childbirth. Fur like a panther's, eyes like a lion's, hind legs limp from birth, discarded from the litter. Naima's black fur, obsidian under moonlight. She huddles against a newly planted tree, protection from the wind. The wind's voice, the earth's sorrow. The night pacifies the wind, a melody for Naima. She falls asleep, the night deepens, the stars emerge. Naima drifts into the dreamscape, far from broken Brooklyn streets, to the sunrise by the Nile, by the pyramids of gold. She sees Bastet, the mother of her lineage, her hind legs strengthened, no longer abandoned. She purrs in Bastet's arms, her body immobile, her face at peace. Thank you so much.
Man, everybody is on their game tonight. Patricia, you want to tell a few words about Brownstone? Who's coming up?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We're on hiatus until October 31st. You already heard Josephine LeRae is going to be one of our features. Right now, I'm just very tired. I'm just going through the anthology. I'm waiting for the artwork to come back from Paris. I have to do that, and also I'm working on Sense and Sensibility. You and
Charlie Cobine.
No.
Oh, sorry.
No, Mike. I'm very tired. Not feeling
Yeah,
good.
that's okay. Don't worry about it.
Mike, you and Holland are in it. I'm going to be
Woo!
in Sensibility.
There we go.
Just saying, I'm just going through. It's like I had over 84 submissions.
Wow.
Going through it. I'm just very tired and very run down. Ken Holland, yeah, thank you.
Just listening to you say that makes me tired.
I know.
Get a good rest. Get a good rest. Get a good rest. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Stephen Roberts, you're next.
Okay. All right. I have two fairly short ones for you. First one is a short meditation on the passage of time. There were perfunctory questions about my life. My answers were unimportant. At least she only checked her phone but once. She liked her salad. The pumpkin dressing was to die for. I sensed the seconds slip away. A summer day loitered outside. She complained about the heat. Menopause was touched upon, as well as marriage and divorce. I reflected on my dead wife. How many lunches did we share like this, waiting for a train on an abandoned spur of track, reading a schedule from 1983? As they say, time flies. My wife forgot the color of my eyes. And the next one is called First Night. The first night, tired as we were, we couldn't sleep. We just moved in, a new house set upon a hill, pastures back and front, sparse neighbors to either side. We woke. We thought we'd left the light on in the hall or there was a fire. Inspecting the living room, we discovered it was just the moon. Lambent through the skylight and the as yet uncurtained windows, announcing itself in welcome, illuminating furniture yet to be arranged. We stood, marveling at the sky, and we half believed every night would be as bright. But we were newly married and willing to ignore the plangent note on which most country western songs will end. Thank you.
Oh, nice ending. I like that one. Thank you. Derrick Parroett, you're next. Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you for having me. First I want to apologize. I'm gonna definitely figure out the camera situation because I feel like I'm the only one not showing my face right now. But as I like to say, a heart has no face nor name; it only speaks.
That's
so
good.
we'll get right into this poem. It's called A Song Within. I often stray, veering in directions off course from the most desirable paths. I attempt to attack the innocence others portray to me as a gift. I've undervalued my purity. I sought to be less a flower, emitting pleasurable aromas. I craved to be an untouchable flytrap. I tire of this buzzing noise, declarations of discontent, ignited rage instigated to a boiling point. I found peace with my piece of life. I dreamed of creating peace in a warring realm. I fought demons since young, no soul knowing my battles, alone in combat from youth. I've been a spiritual anomaly, swarms of thought forms fought to cling to my aura. I've lacked preparation, and this scared me. However, I was protected by forces unseen. I've questioned why my loving nature must attract such disaster and turmoil. I'd pondered the concepts of contracts, wondering about the benefit of it all, sitting cozy in the dark, watching the skies, burrowing into the earth, never knowing why. I'd allow my mind to drift and conversations to begin within. Is this meditation? Seeing visions of potential I craved heavily to claim the talent witness, as if I lacked it. I'd say, if only, what if, maybe I. Investments of thought amounting to naught. I was glued to paradigms drastically draining. Would have sucked me dry if not saturated by spirit. I strived to navigate these storms. I saw the new horizon. I held in my heart this sensation. I occasionally succumbed to sin. I've worked hard to win my battles with the flesh. I gradually have overcome obstacle after obstacle. I signed a contract to fight on fronts undiscerned. I'm certain now more than ever. I ignored your voice for long, but I hear you, my sweet child. Release this inner tension and set free the song within. A song within the souls, a song within the minds, a song within the hearts, a song within every child, a song within we must sing again. Inner child, sing to your heart's content.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And then my second poem is called Unrivaled Challenge. Life is an unrivaled challenge, a task suited for champions, to conquer the flesh, the ambition of all godly men. Insight lacking led to misdirection, resorting to extremes due to the experience of rejection. How far have we strayed from God's intentions? Life is an unrivaled challenge, a rough mountain to climb, legs, arms, core, head, sore from toe to crown, still can't wither out. Stop climbing now, guarantee your fall, falling from heights nauseating to ponder. How long must we endure before we cease our questioning? Does a right answer exist? The unknown is infecting my brain like cancer. Life is an unrivaled challenge. Birth to die, dying to live, a study of all that is. Cycling the seasons, at times burning with passion, others freezing in melancholy. To become one with our nature, the journey of man. How will this process of progress begin? Is there an answer I can accept? Life is an unrivaled challenge. Use provided no guidance, resorting to violence. Steel to kill, pills to fill, drugs over hugs, rage untamed. Tempted mind frames, observations of perpetuated pain, a repetitious rage. Attempts to mute the truth, instilled fear. Death comes to those who speak on systemic abuse. Does living this dying life have any use? Life is an unrivaled challenge. You either succumb or you manage. Minds manic with panic, waiting for the next tragedy. What if we actually cared? What if we actually loved? What if we actually thought? Not King nor Malcolm would succumb. They managed to lead us forward. Nor will I succumb. I drive towards better days to use my voice for change. Life is an unrivaled challenge. The largest known tidal wave. Must we surf with no board, beaten and battered onto shore? Shore to hurt, pain from sticks, pain from stones, pain from words that ache our bones. Let it linger like a sore cut. Probe the open wound, dig a whole finger into that sore spot. Sharks smell blood, jaws dropped, a known plot. Bleed your soul out, become a target. I'll be the mark. An exclamation bringing a sharp stop to the death sentence we serve ourselves. Life is an unrivaled challenge, still holding its blessings. I'd like to see the youth bear fruit, thus planting seeds for the future. I've seen love through the shade, thus witnessing lighter days. I gather trust and faith, thus building strength. For all the challenges put in front of me, there's none that I haven't faced, a truth that shall remain. Life is an unrivaled challenge, one we all must face.
Whoa, beautifully done, Derrick. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I
Please
appreciate
join.
the opportunity to share.
You're welcome. Please join us anytime you can.
Sounds good. I definitely look forward to more.
Thanks, man. Linda Wisdo, you're next. Linda, you still with us?
I don't think so.
Ooh. Maybe mowing the lawn got to her.
Yes.
Okay, Jude Marr, you're up next.
Okay, I'm definitely still here. Here we go. Oh, what a night. What a night. I'm going to read one that's actually from the chapbook that should be out next year. I don't have the details yet, but if all goes according to plan, the collection's called Silence Will Not Save Us. And this one's called Live from the Billionaire Philanthropist's Banquet. At this false table, appetite is not loss. Self-love cocoons blame, while self-proclaimed good servants shave bottom lines and spin kaleidoscopes before the famished. As well-tended hands offer bread to shrinking, wrinkled bodies, the would-be unhinge their hearts, still filthy from a dream of delights. Meanwhile, children, graveyard wraiths, stuff restructured bread into unlined mouths. Their hands hang angular, their eye skeletons are sockets of birds who sing featherless. In the graveyard of power-hungry minds, dark famine eats air, rain falls undelivered, a mess of struts rises around barred gold. 3 meals feed expectations, a bountiful garden, bread without errors, heart table dreams. And we say, let's eat expensive, grind night like we grind coffee, remind the pot that we are appetite. But what terror of the rambling heart, rock fraught and filthy, empties a child's hands without touching. Graveyard children make our sold-out hearts raw. We draw our hands from their hunger. We make coffee without touching the world. Thanks.
Whoa, excellent. Jude, Marr, everybody, make coffee without touching the world. Awesome. Thank you.
Grind night like we grind coffee. That's so
Donna, Donna, if you're still with us, you're next. Thanks, Jude.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Mike. And thank you to the 3 feature poets. That was just fabulous. Thank you. Just to give you some context of a short piece that I'll share with you. I've been writing a series of living pictures about different stages of a woman's life. This one is called There Is No Return. Childhood is defeated. The grave digger has done his best work. Lessons learned are buried in the garden, someplace near the swing. Her empty eyes, skin and voice are dim, a natural consequence of the victory of change, dressed in its head-to-toe celebration of winning. She drifts with a lamenting clock. Mirrors are black-fringed, until she catches sight of Earth's curve, the brink, a smile. She recalls her breath, leaves resume their shape and trunks rub their limbs. Early years spread-eagled cry, I want someone to tippy-toe with. The wind punches so hard it whistles, raining impressions all around. The childish voice is hushed to ice. If the moment was never ending, it might still exist, but it is quick, never coming back, passed to a long, long sleep, along with all cloying childish things. There is a heat in her, a hungry pulse that gusts through. The whiff of whiskey mixes with minty. Her lipstick perfectly fills her lips, as if expecting an inheritance befitting a queen with nothing to lose. She deals where she is seen, wearing her currency, late ripe red, and spun gold threaded through her holes in her ears. The sky is a vast and windy place. Her childhood plays there with pearls that can't be counted, but almost enough luster accrued on her wings before they folded.
wow. That was pretty wonderful. It was. The gravedigger has done his best work. That hooked me hard. That was my entry into it. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Thanks.
Donna, you want to do 2?
No, thank you. One's fine.
All right. Thank you, dear. Always great to hear you and see you.
Thank you.
Lenny, you still with us? Lenny, Lenny,
No, he's not.
Lenny. No, he's gone. Okay. Ken Holland, that means you're next.
Okie Nothing to add beyond what's been so rightfully said about all the features and all the open mics tonight. Two poems. The second one is about 10 seconds, so no harm, no foul there. This first one is called The Breadbasket of America. I was walking through an unfamiliar neighborhood, but from the few cars that passed, there came the wave of a hand. So I knew I was in a neighborhood that posed no threat, which was no surprise, since I was wearing my white shirt over my white skin and had turned my skull inside out to show the white thoughts going through my sun-bleached head. I'm not trying to say it's all 1950s Wonder Bread, as there's enough black in my life as well, such as the color of the ink that codifies my trust fund inheritance, and the black mascara that thickens my girlfriend's black lashes. And then there's the deep black depressions I fall into that blacken my days for hours until the bright miracle of my medications, the white light of God Himself, kick in. I'm not saying it's all 1950s Wonder Bread, though I can't discount the damage done by all those preservatives. The second poem is called Character Assassination. Bullet that came screaming toward Kennedy's head did not miss. The bullet that came screaming towards Trump's head did. And they say the universe lacks a sense of humor. Thank you for listening. Yeah.
All right.
Darkly true. Thank you.
Ooh, the king of darkness.
It's good though.
Thank you, Mr. Holland. It's always good to hear you, buddy. Bob Heman, you're next.
Okay, hi folks. Two short ones. The room. The room he was in the most was always the elevator. Half. Midway, on the midway, half a man was lifted into the sky to become half of the story. Thanks, folks.
No, do one more. You just can't get away that easy.
Okay, let me look. Let me look for something.
And Bob, when you find that second something, can you read the first one again?
I agree. I want to hear it again.
Yeah.
Let me read the first one again. And
Okay, go for it.
The next one. The room. The room he was in most was always the elevator.
That's so good.
Okay. This is something from my new chapbook. The honesty of the chickens allows the children to gather.
Oh, I'm gonna have to think on that.
That's great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, Bob, I'm in
More like scenarios.
Yeah, poets.
More like brain twisters to me, like poems or something.
Twisted scenarios.
It's always the elephant.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks.
Christine Palillo, would you like to read for us? Christine.
I don't think she's here.
All right, that means Sam Harty, you still with us?
Sam's here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Go for it.
Okay, let's see here. My first poem is called Road Trip. We drove for hours without speaking. The GPS kept saying, recalculating, like it knew something about us. Dashboard lights, gas stations at 2 a.m., passing through unknown towns. You singing softly to songs half lost in static, your fingers tapping time against the passenger door. Later, you slept with your head against the window, your breathing soft beneath the hum of the tires. The highway stretching out like something unfinished. Every mile put distance between me and the version of myself I didn't want to be anymore. But you always said I could be anything. But at 4 a.m. on this long, dark road, all I really wanted to be was with you. And my next one is called Relegated. I used to write love poems in the margins of books, my words hidden between mathematical equations, relegated to the edges of the page as though they didn't deserve the center, didn't deserve their own space. I wrote in a whisper when I wanted to roar. It took years to find my voice, but when I did, writing in the margins wasn't enough anymore. Now I write past the margins. I realize they were never meant to hold a life. I am not the margin, I am the story. I got a little short one. Do you want to hear it or should I stop?
No, go for the short one. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Sitting on the back porch, I never saw the bird, only its shadow passing over the earth. I never looked up. I knew it was there. Sometimes faith feels exactly like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. It's always good to hear you. Thank you so much. And you do deserve the center. Don't let anybody else tell you anything different.
Thank you.
John Bartell, you're next, buddy.
All right. Sam, that was great. I loved it. I write past the margins. It was awesome. So this is called There Were Only Three People Left. There were only three people left in the world. The one smiling and waving at the camera, that was me. You can tell by my blonde hair and the gap between my front teeth. We drank all of the wine and left the dirty dishes in the sink. Nancy ran naked across the football field while we cheered her on. We swam in the river, unafraid of crocodiles. The leaves turned crimson in autumn, and wave after wave of geese flew overhead, their ragged V's a reminder of what we had. One morning, I reached for her, but she was in the treehouse, flaking a rope. Thank you.
Sure you don't have a second one?
I mean, I have a short one.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how good it is. I'll read it.
Yeah,
you asked for it.
Come on. We're all friends.
All right. You can boo me if you want. It's called Cape May. It was fall, and it was too cold to swim, and she had a sundress on, and the wind had caught her hair. A kettle of broad-winged hawks passed by. She called them broad-winged finches, and they kissed, the ocean surf pounding the sand. And that's it. That's my short poem. Thank you.
Thank you, John. In case anybody missed it the first time I announced it, John will be reading for us on September 4th with Barb Fulton-Jens and Sean Pinkowski. So join us if you can. You got a little bit of a sneak preview of what John can do, so come on by on September 4th. Who's next? John. Ron Bremner, you still with us? Ron, you're still out there. I think he might have left.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that means Raphael Kosek's next.
Okay. Can you hear me? Because my mic has been a little odd.
Now we hear you.
Okay. All right, this is a new poem called Forgetting. You forget that you don't need to remember everything, that it's okay not to remember Susan from your 6th grade class, or the trip upstate to see an O'Keeffe exhibit with your husband after you'd had a terrible row with your mother. You don't need to remember the trauma of a chipmunk trapped under your garage door all night, its body still trembling until you put it out of its misery, but not yours. You don't need to remember making out with a boy you didn't like because someone called you a goody-goody, or driving home on the wrong side of the road after a Russian department Fat Tuesday party at college. And you don't need to remember you're a lousy gardener and weeds will take over everything by August after spring's good intentions. And don't beat yourself up over how bad you are with numbers and how a little stress will blank your mind and you're sure the checkbook is off by God knows how much. You don't need to remember that something lying quietly in your body will wake up and eventually kill you, and that all the stuff you've accumulated over the years will be sifted through by your children, who will get rid of most of it. Yes, even the Chinese figurine your mother won at a carnival that stood on your end table, because you needed to remember how young and full of fun your mother once was, before she remembered all the bad things that had happened to her. You don't need to remember, but you do.
Oh,
Well done.
great.
I like that one.
Me too.
I actually read a poem using anaphora in the New Ohio Review, and it inspired me to write this one. So, yeah, I like repetition sometimes.
Thank you, Raphael.
Mm.
All right, everybody, you're stuck with me now. I'm just going to read one piece, wherever it might be. This is a poem that is pretty much about, I don't know, 25 years old, but I recently reorganized it, and it was published a long time ago, but it wasn't published under this title, and now it's called Widow. It was early June, and I was hoping for a hand job from Carragon Prentice at the opening of the Camden Drive-In in Pennsauken, New Jersey, 1933. My dad's cherry red Plymouth 8 gleaming in the cerulean glow of Wives Beware, a 1930s British comedy of errors I recall absolutely nothing about, but suspect, like all comedies of errors, to be about hand jobs, how many and by whom. Did I mention Carrie-Anne played piano? Knit scarves for a nickel, October 1929. Led her regional Girl Scout troop for 2 years in the fine art of macrame. She had slender hands and the humor of an angel. A real cute angel, too. An angel whose smile I see so clearly as I place this rose upon our stone, hoping to lay at her side again soon. That's it for me. Thank you, folks. Again, I want to thank Prince. I want to thank Poet Gold. I want to thank Mary Louise for making this a very special night. And the open micers just carried it right out from there. So thank you for that. We will be back on August, whatever the hell it is, August 20th with Cheryl Ann Rice. And we want to close the evening out with Mr. Greg Correll.
A couple of weeks ago, I started reading, and I'm nearly done with Finnegan's Wake by James Joyce. I'm reading it side by side with the enormous a skeleton key from Joseph Campbell, the myth guy. And it's changing my brain going through that book. If any of you have ever glanced at it, you know what I mean. It inspired a poem from me, which I will just call Wake. Isn't what it seems once you love someone, dearest, deepest, feeling root flavor pulled all and every days. No, not what you want or deserve-ish. Every love inmost, once gone, taken, they vanish from the heart. Hunt, Emmy, you are gone. Molly, you are gone. Though I feel you, talk to you every day, though I depend on you in my selfosphere, patent pending. Though I can't bear parting, can't withstand you gone. Are there Toll House cookies in heaven? My defenseless soul in meter, I am. I will never forget your entire life. Best to everyone back at home. I knew you when, way back, how you ran and played and dreamed. I am the last and only witness. Such beauty and soul. Alas, no more. No more, all gone. Yet the whole they leave, the whole, the holy O, cuts like nail scissor, like prawn silk pulled from throat.
Woohoo!
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, Greg, when
That
you
last
sent
line I'm stalled.
yeah, Greg, when you sent that on the text, it was all rambled. It was all scrambled. I couldn't make
I
it
can
out.
only imagine. It's full of Joycean misspellings too.
Oh my God! But
I may
that's
never be able
wonderful.
to spell correctly
Prawn
again.
silk. I love that. Prawn silk. I thought you said smoke and you said throat.
Yes, prawn silk,
Pulled
which is
from throat.
a word.
That is just a mind bender.
Wow.
Thank you.
I want to thank you all, especially Prince, Mary Louise Kiernan, and Poet Gold. We would not be here without you guys, without all the open micers. So thank you very much. One more time, I will remind you that we will be back on August 20th with Cheryl Ann Rice, on September 4th with John Bartell, Barbara Fulton Jens, and Sean Penkowski, and on September 8th with Chris Kingsley, the man who runs Tompkins Corners down there in Putnam Valley. Thank you all for tonight. We wouldn't be without you. If anybody has anything to say, please do. And
What
go
a
for
night.
it.
What a night.
It was great. It was wonderful.
I'm saturated.
So when do we take over whatever park you were talking about in Brooklyn?
I was talking about Brooklyn Bridge Park.
Okay.
So over there by Dumbo.
Well, I'm going to leave.
Between Dumbo and Brooklyn Heights.
I'm going to leave that to you and Patricia to figure that one out, and I'll come down.
Okay. Well,
all right.
Greg, you coming?
I don't know.
If he wants to hitch a ride with me, come on down.
Okay. I think I might want to. I think so. I rarely leave
with you, Mike.
So.
She changed.
Book out.
Where's your bow tie?
Yeah, where's the bow tie? Oh my
Where's
God.
the bow tie?
I didn't want the wings and stuff to get on my shirt. And I needed to eat my wings.
Good.
Thank you, everyone.
Looking great. Nice to see everybody.
We couldn't do this without you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night, folks.
Thank you,
Night.
Greg. Thank you, Mike.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I figured because
Bye,
I got a book out. I got
Yeah,
Stranger
yeah.
on Shore.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
You left already?
That's all right.
We'll talk, Mike, because I don't know.
You got it.
Because I don't know if I can talk, do a reading this year or maybe early next year.
Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out.
Mike, can I do a shameless plug before you go off?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, I'll be in Beacon doing a free concert for the community with Jeff Hames, percussionist Jeff Hames, who worked with Pete Seeger's last album. We're going to be doing some things on August 29th, so follow the Instagram and you'll see a post coming up soon.
Oh, and I'm going to be at on August 13th. I'm going to be reading for Galinsky at the book club bar in the East Village. I've been sending it around Facebook and all that stuff. So, Galinsky.
That's it.
There you go. Everybody's got something happening. I like it. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Caps.
We'll see you soon.
See you all.